Guys, I think the last thing that we have to do here, in order to finalize the UI for the skill tree, is to have a distinction between allocated nodes and non-allocated nodes, the connection between them. Yeah, skill tree, this is the last thing. It's like, if I do it correctly, it's like 5 minutes, and then we can work on this ability right here. I want to work on projectiles flying further, the more projectile speed you have. So, for example, if I give a projectile a certain speed, then it lasts longer if it flies faster. So every projectile, let's say, has a speed of 100 pixels, and then they last 1 second. If I double the speed, they should fly twice as fast, twice as far. And the reason why I want to do this is because projectile speed can then not only impact the shield orbs, making the ability stronger, but it can also impact the wind slash in a way where we can now hit more enemies because we can shoot this ability further. It flies further because it flies faster. That's the idea. And so basically it goes hand in hand. Both of those things work together, and you can, I can also implement items that have these stats. That's the idea. And hello there, Plained XD. Good morning, do this in real life. Yes, sir. So, we currently have this if the node cannot be allocated. Right? Node can't be allocated. Also misses less often. Yeah, projectile speed makes it so that you miss less often. Exactly. Cakez, how's things going? Good, good. Thanks for asking, the orange bot. Going good. We're currently working on gameplay, and yeah, actually going very well. YouTube is going good. Streaming is going good. Just having a couple of issues with Zoe, where she's screaming a lot, whining a lot, having to figure out, what is the best way to make her not whine. So I think we need, but again, we need to work on the skill tree just one more time here. I need to have a distinction, or I need to know that this route is allocated and connected to this, so that it shows me I can go here, but I've already allocated these two nodes. I need to have a distinction, and yesterday we had it so that, okay, well, if node is allocated and connected node is allocated, or if node is allocated and the connected node is a root node, or the node is a root node and the connected node is allocated, then one of them is allocated. They're both allocated, essentially. Both are allocated. Nodes. Both nodes. Wait, both nodes. Both nodes are not allocated. Darken the line. And then both nodes are allocated. Brighten the line. And so I want to use the animation index 2 here for this, just to test what this looks like. Cakez, why do you use VS Code? So this is a little too, in my opinion, this is a little too bright, but I think we could potentially change the color just a tiny bit to give enough visual cues that this is allocated. Maybe change the line just a tad. So instead of maybe we put this here. What do you think about this change? It doesn't really work, huh? 5 minutes are up. Close the skill tree. Or what we could also do, line color. Wait a minute. What about this? Just making it brighter? I don't think that works, huh? Nah. Or we just make the green part twice as much. Or we can do a vec4 additive line color, which is nothing. And then we do additive line color is color palette 20 or 15, I think. Was it 15 here? Oh, this is 20, okay. Huh? Why is this complaining here? Candidate function const vector 2. Okay. Oh, I see. It's got to be a vector 4. I get it now. Maybe give it like a multiplier. So for example, 1/5. Then it's not as bright. Yeah, we do that here. And then we just add color here. So there would be dot additive is additive line color. Let's see. Like this, maybe. Why do you use VS Code if there's Visual Studio? The Vim extension, yeah. Oh, wow. Yikes. This is bright. Or line color is color white plus this. What happens then? Nah. But yeah. Okay, guys. I don't like this. Maybe we do this. And we just set the animation index to this. Good morning. Hey, Cakez Fart. How's it going? Good morning, bro. And Freth, thank you very much for following. I don't like that there's no real distinction between the nodes that are allocated towards... Fuck, man. Maybe do this. By default, the line color is not color white, but 0.7, 0.7, 0.7. And then if both colors are allocated, then we do line color is color white. Like this. Wow, what the fuck happened? And then additive color. Maybe this. To be honest, I think I'm just gonna keep it green. Like this. And then we just move on. What do you guys think? Keep it green like this? Hello, gentlemen. Hello, Romco. How's it going, bro? What about this? Yeah, we're gonna keep it like this. Let's not spend too much time on this. I said like 5 minutes. I think it's better like this. Instead of having a different animation index for this. That's fine. Green's better. Yeah, I like this, right? Because now we can essentially... And then we don't need to have the color. This could be white. There you go. Let's save this and then commit and push this. Hello, gentlemen. It's around 38 degrees here. Hot as hell. Well, goodness. Yeah. For us, it was 36 yesterday. Today is like 24. But the room is still hot. Like, I'm still sweating balls here. Okay, so. We'll keep it like this. I think I like it. Is it perfect? No, but I think it works. I like it. I think it properly shows a distinction between what is allocated and what isn't. And now we can move on. Yeah, I think it's good enough. All right, now. Looks good. Let's quickly commit and push this. Git add. Git commit. Skill tree colors updated. Git push. Chat's mom's fat. Good. Okay, so now what I want to work on is... It's the bad code police? Okay, bro. Sorry for the repetition kicks, but what about setting 2 tones of green, maybe on a sprite? One bright, one darker. Going to jail for that fat comment? Alright, fine. So, now let's work on coding here. Let's work on the game. Integrates CMake workflow into VS Code. You don't have to type any CMake commands in the terminal. Everything can be done via Visual Studio Code UI or editing CMake preset JSON file, and of course writing CMake script. Yeah, it does have a lot of support. They're after you for the 2000k file size violation. 20k. Okay. Now, projectile speed. We need to make projectiles work with speed. Now the big question is, should I make it so that every single projectile in the game has a life of 1 second? Is it like everything has 1 second lifetime and the speed determines how far the projectile flies? Which means if I have higher projectile speed, I can shoot further away. Now we also have to take range into account, right? So for example, Let me show you. Give me a second. Better. So for example, let's say we have an orange, okay, right here. This is a Tangy. And this guy has an elliptical range. We know that, we've done this, right? This is his range. So, now, if he shoots with a bow and arrow, he can shoot from here to here. This is the distance D. Distance D. Now the question that I'm asking myself in my head is the following. If I have like this could be some value, let's say 10 pixels, let's say 20 pixels, right? 20 pixels. Now, think about this. If I say that D is no longer dependent on the attack, so that would mean, you know, that would mean that D is the same as range. Okay. Give me a second. Good morning, skill tree progress looks good. Excited to see projectile speed. Hello there, good morning. That's awesome to hear. So now D is range. But there's an, so that would be option 1 or A, right? That's A. Or let's say this is the first option that we have, okay? Now, but there's a second option that we can go to, where D is determined by a speed and I don't know how to put time in there. I suppose times multiplied by time. Now time could be a constant. Could be 1 second. This could be constant, or we could have buffs and stats that affect this time. So speed, this right here, this could be a stat that we change, that we already have. This is a stat. And that would follow that more speed. More speed means bigger Ds. If that makes sense. And so I'm thinking of whether to keep this time a constant for every single projectile in the game, or if I call this a stat that gets initialized to 1. And then we can affect this using items too. So for example, I could make it so that projectiles last longer in the air. They fly longer. Projectile life or something. So because, why do I ask this question? If I change speed, right? Let's say by default, it is, in this case, speed would be 20. Okay. Then that would mean that D is also 20. But if I make it so that, no, it's not 20, it's 40, then this would follow that the projectile flies 40 pixels. Which would mean that in this scenario, if I were to, I would need to extend this line till here, because D is now 40. What that means is, if there's an enemy somewhere here, and he is moving, he's moving here, in this vicinity, he's not getting attacked by my dude, because he's not in range. But I could potentially reach him with a projectile if I shoot a second enemy. Right, so if I go here, there's an enemy right here. I start shooting towards him, and then this enemy right here, maybe I miss him. Maybe I miss this guy, but I could still hit this guy. It flies further than my range is, if that makes sense. Because of projectile speed. You understand what I'm trying to say here? Then the player needs to understand what a projectile speed node will actually increase the range. Probably it's better to just leave that to a range increase node. I have range increase too. Yes. But then now we have an issue. If I have a range increase, you know, I didn't even think about this. So if I have a range... Oh, I see. Now I get it. So the speed of the projectile is dependent on the range, yeah. So if I have speed, then speed is always the same as range plus a percentage. I get it now. So can I build this here? Speed. Speed is the same as range. Range plus buffs. This makes sense. What are you cooking in this paint? In paint this time? Hello there, Diamond. Good morning. I get it now. Speed is range. Yep, makes sense. Because speed needs to be range to determine how many pixels the projectile will fly over 1 second. And then we can increase the speed using percentage values. So for example, we could say buffs would be this. Speed plus 50%. And this is what we already have in the game. This right here is this node right here, projectile speed. Do you have buffs for range? Yes, we do. For example, right here, I can click on, let's say this. Why is it not displaying the start name here? What's happening here? Oh, it looks like there was no stat. Okay. Let's see. I changed this the other day, you know, in the evening. I think I made some good stuff here. Let's see. I think it's called attack range. Attack radius. There we go. So I can literally go and say attack radius plus 3%, or I could literally say plus 3 pixels. Did the shield stun work? We don't have shield stun yet. I'm currently thinking of what I'm gonna do. My man doing this fine after stream work. Yeah, I think I made it better, you know. I would let the player invest in range and speed with time not being visible to the player and calculate based on the range and speed. Yeah. So time, so I make it so that every projectile lasts for 1 second and speed just makes it so they fly further, but it's always 1 second. For 1 second it's on the screen and then it's gone. Hey buddy, can I show you and your channel my upcoming YouTube video? Sure, Inukai, but it feels like you are just making fun of me or something. This doesn't feel like you actually want to do this. Eh? Sorry about this. Alright, let's see. Let's code this in. I don't know if it should work like that. I see buff plus 50% speed. I think it will fly faster. The same distance by half the time. If I wanted the... But it is. It is the same distance by half the time. But it will just fly further too. You agreed to what I wrote and then instantly said something different. I would let the player invest in range and speed with time not being visible to the player and calculate based on the range and speed. Time basically calculated based on range and speed? How would that work? Time needs to be a constant then. In before a documentary of how to not make a game. Okay. Oh hi, happy Wednesday. Range and speed are different stats. Yeah, so but okay, let's go purely with range, okay? If I have a unit and then this unit has a range, okay? And I shoot a projectile, an arrow in this direction over this distance d. That takes, let's say, 1 second. Okay. If I now go ahead and increase my range, okay. Now the distance is till here. What about the time? In my opinion, that should be 1 second. Should be constant. Why should this take longer? It will fly for longer or faster. If it flies for longer, then I need to determine some sort of... I need to determine the lifetime based on the speed and the distance. So T would then be... So what you're saying is T starts out with, I don't know, is D times the speed or something? Or distance divided by the speed? Lifetime is based on the target distance and speed. T is distance divided by speed. But if I increase the speed, then T is shorter. Duh. But then it doesn't make any sense. In my... Yeah, so I could do that, but I don't like it, actually. I don't like it. I feel like if I make a projectile faster, it should fly further. Sorry, but I think it should fly further. When it's faster, it reaches the target quicker, so it makes sense. If you just increase the speed, the range doesn't change and the lifespan is shorter. Yeah, but I don't like that. Because then, like, my buff to projectile speed doesn't do anything to this. It depends on what you want. 2 stats or 1 stat. Make some time offset based on speed. Range means speed, remember. It'll make overfly. I don't know, man. You want speed or speed plus range? Can projectile speed be changed to fire rate? Let's just park this and edit the skill tree colors more. Shut the fuck up. It's really cringe, bro. It's actually really cringe. If speed increases range, then what's the point of upgrading range? Upgrading range makes it so that you can hit units. So, like, I could have a projectile that flies towards my range, but if I make it twice as fast, the projectile flies further, even though I can only start hitting units and see units here. So it's like this is your vision range, while the projectile can fly out of your vision range. You know what, guys? We're just going to test this. How about this? Huh? Let's just test this. Testing. Let's call it commit. Before testing speed changes of projects. Git push. Would errors of varying speeds look strange? Then it should be renamed to line of sight. Will buggy if there are two ranges. Where's Inukai's video? I think he was just messing. Also, you can't put links on YouTube, so he can never link his video. Let's see. It's an educational thing about React content. I'm working on it. Okay, bro. If it takes the same time to get to every target, then it's a little weird. You should just have two ranges, one detect range and one start shooting range and fly range. T should not be constant. Guys, we'll try to look how it feels. Okay? Let's just see. Shut the fuck up. There you go. T can be constant if D changes. Range is not D in this case. So, let's test this, guys. We have it in the game now. Instead of attack speed, I want projectile speed. Where's projectile speed? There you go. Let's turn this to 100%. Make it twice as fast. Okay, save this. And then we just allocate this node for now. Let's see how this looks. Okay. Okay. Let's see what happens now. If you know the flight time of the arrow and can predict where the target will be at the impact, then you get a big W. No, we don't do predictions on where the enemies are. This will be purely... This will be fixed with different stuff. There will be no predictions here. No. That will be done later. Okay, that didn't work. Let's see, how do I figure out the speed? Speed is projectile speed, okay. So let's take a look at wind slash. There you go. Wind slash creates a projectile and the speed is constant. Aha. So let's see. Float speed is get range. Activator. I think that takes into account the stats, alright? Yeah. Now the get range, and then we need to float speed increase, which is get it gets stat value. Ignore base. Stats dot values on stat projectile speed. There you go. Then we have the speed increase. That should be like 1 point something times the speed increase. There you go. Now it should fly further, and then we apply the speed here. Let's see. This is gonna look odd. Yikes. Let's see. Need delta time. Delta time will be handled in the update projectile function. Okay. Okay, I mean... What does this look like? It's slower. It flies the same distance, but it's slower. Update and draw projectiles. We get the projectile. How about we draw the speed here? Projectile speed times t. Travel distance. I see. But I think that should be fine. Right? The travel distance divided by... Oh, the projectile's range. Which, do I even supply this? We do supply that here. So this is basically like a slowdown that I do. Shit. Okay. We could say T is 1 minus projectile dot time. And time goes from 0 to 1. So that would be ease in cubic, maybe? Like this. And then it shows the speed there. But I feel like it's there for too long, is it? And then I want to do a draw UI text. Draw format UI text. And that would be a speed. Percentage point to F. And we draw that on the proj.position. And dot render options is outline. So you guys are saying that I should keep the range. I don't know, I just want to see how it feels. If you implement it the right way, you can just add increase range nodes to wind slash instead of increase projectile speed to get the effect you want. Yes, I know, but it would be cool to have a node on my dude that affects the speed of my shield orbs that also affects the speed of wind slash. You know, so how, like I'm investing on the top part here, but I also have benefits to other abilities down here, because then it will also make it much easier to have items have, for example, projectile speed, stuff like that. It would be much easier. Did Collector finish your game yet, or were they just empty words?
These were just empty words, because he knows that he can't finish my game, okay?
I have way too many systems in my game. Like, it always looks so easy on the outside, but how about implementing just the projectile system that I have in my game? Good luck, my brother. Alright, let's see. You definitely should make sort for UI lists. What are you talking about? Alright, let's see here. Wind slash. Oh yeah, I didn't train it. It's constant speed. I feel like it doesn't slow down at all because time, projectile time, doesn't get increased. Right? It does. Huh? What the fuck is this shit? Also, where's the speed displayed? It doesn't draw me the speed. Oh, it does. Speed 0? Huh? Oh, wait a minute. I heard from some bird that he will give out free playable demos next week. Collector of stuff? Sure, bro. Sure you will. 65 speed? Okay, and then if I get the node, how much is it? Should be twice as much, right? Oh, it does. Okay. Homing strength comes after range, okay. Who's Collector? Some dude. He's recreating the game in a couple of days to prove a point. He won't be able to do that, guys. Okay, so this is what it looks like at the moment. It flies further because the speed is higher, twice as much. This is what it looks like without the speed. What do you guys think? But they are not inside the range. Yeah, so the ability itself. Let's see. Wind Slash itself has a range increase that's not visible. Which I need to add to the text. Let me do that really quickly. So I need to have physical damage and then range too. How do we do this here? And then in the game, right here, I also add in the range. The rectangle is the auto attack range, right? Yeah. So the ability itself has a range increase of 30 pixels. So projectiles that Supercool wrote for you in like 5 minutes? You're wrong. You're totally wrong. I wrote them. I'm not sure what you're talking about. It's always quicker to recreate something where you don't have to make any decisions. Deliberating over game design takes time. Yeah, it does. It does. And testing it out too. So that's why the projectile flies further. And then I can do a nice curve, but it doesn't really seem to work here. Let's see. Speed is projectile speed times t. Then is this used to determine travel distance, position plus equal speed? Okay, then t. Let's see, round 2. Did he show any proof that he's creating it, or it is a mega troll? Actually, he did, yes. Let's see. Speed. Look how long it's 1. And then it slows down dramatically. I think it flies too slow. Needs to be much faster. Much higher speed. Good day, sir. I'm afraid my latest proposal didn't reach you. Not a problem. We'll try again. My father, said my father, the greatest negotiator I know. So my proposal is that you maybe to increase the potential sales, it would be great to add a famous crew member from the game Among Us, where you play as a crew member and basically is a mafia in space. Take care, smiley face. Yes, sir. Good day, sir. I'm afraid that is all. Good day, sir. How's it going? It feels bad, guys. This speed... I think I want to do what you guys say. Unfortunately, I feel like it's speed. It sucks, man. I feel like speed should make the projectiles fly further. But it looks weird. When I determine the speed based on the range and then let the projectile fly for like 1 minute, 1 second. Sucks. For clarity, I think you should have both speed and velocity. Nah, velocity should be done using a time. How do you create to destroy projectiles? I just add them to a list, like an array. So adding a new projectile is just increasing the counter of the projectiles by 1, and then removing one is just if I want to remove a projectile at the very end, I just decrease the counter. If I want to remove a projectile in the middle of the array, I move the last projectile in the array to the middle. So essentially like this. Projectiles. So the projectiles in my game are just a simple array. And it's always packed. So if I have a projectile here, and here, and here, I guess I'll do this, right? Makes more sense. If I have projectiles in here, and let's say I want to create a new projectile, I just add that in here. +1. If I want to remove one, and if it's the last one, I just decrease the counter by 1. If it's somewhere in the middle, then I take the latest and move it here and then do count -1. That's essentially what I do. Swap last and remove, yep. And so the projectiles, that is just a fixed array of 2000. It's fixed. It's a fixed size because every single projectile doesn't have much data, and therefore I can store some more data than I actually need. So very, very simple. Pirate software from Deutschland? Nee, it's more like Wish. Okay. Cakez clip farming. Yeah, why not? Thank you for following, Kilik. Appreciate it, bro. Martha? What is that? Martha? My favorite? My friend? My favorite? Anyways. This looks and feels bad. Making a projectile fly. So what you guys are saying is... I should use speed and range to determine how long a projectile is in the air. And then if I increase the speed, the projectile is just faster, but doesn't fly further. Won't say my Twitch name since Cakez will timeout me always. No, I don't even know who you are on Twitch, bro. Harrison. I came from Twitch to see all of the Inukai messages and idiots. Okay. Fuck the speed. Make everything hit scan. T equals distance divided by speed. Yeah, I know. But... man, this fucking sucks. Would be cool if I make speed faster, so the projectile flies further too. Wouldn't that be awesome? Let's see. Let's undo the change. You guys ready? Professional Git enjoyer here. Git stash. Are you guys ready? Actually, I don't want to do git stash. Actually, I do not want to do this. Okay, git stash. Build. Cake, stop pretending that you are thinking about a solution. Just do what you do best and start balloons and see how they deal with the range and speed. Pretending to work until the 3-hour mark. Actually, this guy is going to get a timeout of 5 minutes. Bitch. And Inuka, you're getting close to be timed out too. Sounds over-engineered for that kind of game. Speed and range lets you control it. Otherwise, you depend on the formula and are less flexible. Yeah, I know, but it's cool, bro. Like, it's cool. So over here, we have speed, right? So speed would be then this plus get stat value stat dot values on stat projectile speed. There you go. Friction 500. Not sure if I actually do that. I think I don't use friction anymore. So get rid of this. To do. Remove. Question mark. And then go to B here. This is where we get the speed based on the time and the travel distance. Now this is what it looks like then. I think it sucks. Thank you very much for following. Fear My Gaze and Diary Drainash. Jax Nicholson, you are correct. Gotta hate stash. I'd rather commit another branch. Yeah, because like you have to figure out like to get your shit back, right? Alright, let's see. So this is wind slash. And now, this is how fast it flies. See this? Take a look. Take a look. Take a look. There it is. Okay? And now I'm going to take away the homing. Oops. Where the fuck? Oh, this is correct. I can always rely on my homing missiles. True. There you go. Take a look at this. It flies and then disappears really fast. Now, we'll do this. I pressed K and pressed K itself. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Now. Oh, wait. I didn't... Oh, man. I didn't change this to projectile speed and saved it. Where is this? Projectile speed. There we go. And then turn this to 100%. So now it's twice as fast, okay? Save. Take a look at this. Wait. I saved it, but I didn't apply it. God damn it! Give me a second. Do you still play soccer? Yes, I do. There you go. Take a look. Now we actually have 100% more speed. Do you like the Stardew Valley theme? 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 See you in 5 minutes. Cakes, compliments where compliments are due. I must say, this week was really great to watch. So much progress and actual work being done. Even it was UI and not single dog shit React. Not a single dog shit React. We're gonna do a React today, bro. So, sorry to tell you, bro. I don't understand. Does this have an effect or not? Hello, weak mental pork. Good morning. How's it going? All right, I just made it so that we can deallocate nodes again. I don't think the speed of the projectile is actually taken into account here. Or, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna turn this into 500%. I don't see it, guys. I don't see it. It doesn't work. If anything, this node, if I turn it down, it's faster. If I make it slower, okay, let's make it slower by 200%. That's some good ass code. Just wait, okay, bro? Just wait. You're making fun of it right now. Just wait. I messaged like that. Render data. Render options. Outline. And then we do proj.speed. There you go. Woo, React. Yeah, true, Juicy. How long did it take you to make the engine? Forgot to ask last time when I asked the engine question. My bad. It's fine. It's an ongoing process, but to get to this point, it took me like 1 to 2 years. It's a lot of iterate. You iterate a lot. Speed 200. Okay. Now let's see what happens when both these are disabled. Still 200. Bro, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Thank you for following, Mars Conrad. Guys, why do you always specify the field names when filling in structs like you type so much more? It's easier for me to read later. That's why. Like if I just put this to 0, then I don't know what is 0. Oh my god, I add plus. I need to multiply this. Oh my god, I can't believe this. Guys, I need a break. I made such a dumb mistake. I just can't believe this. Fuck, man. What even is minus 200%? What even is that? Is that like 1/4? Baby break. Yeah, of course. Speed 0? I need to find the minus 201. Projectile speed. Wait, stats.values. Projectile speed. This is even wrong. It says 100 increased. Cake sliders on the option panel are hard to see from the background. From the options panel. It does plus 100 is correct. Give me a second. Init stat values. Huh? Ah. Create base stats. Don't I have projectile speed to be 1? I guess I don't. But I should always, when I use projectile speed, I should ignore the base. Basically, ignore base means that we take a base of 1, because this is a multiplier. Alright, guys. Now, minus... Let's restart this. Give this guy stuff. And go here. Turn this to 200%. Save it. Give him 2. Let's see how fast it is. I just can't, man. Fucking hell. I hate math, man. At least it makes sense. Minus is backwards. This is why I love game dev. Oh my god. Why is this happening? Gets that value. So like it sets the base to 1 and then it takes the base and multiplies it by the increased value divided by 100. So if I decrease the projectile speed by 200%. Guys, so how does this work? How would you like, let's say we have a projectile, right? Let's say we have a projectile. And the speed of the projectile is 100. And then we have a buff that says minus 100% speed. What should happen? Should that result in 50 or 0? Should I have 50 or 0? That should be 0. So it should be... You guys are telling me it should be 0. School math. I see. Okay. It's funny, after all the time wasting on the UI where he changed some colors, he still didn't fix the most important UI issues like his game over screen. Look, his game over screen. Speed equals speed minus percentage of speed. Fine, so this here is wrong. So then I guess minus 200% would result in minus 100 speed, huh? It's 0, bro, you clamp it? No, I think it's fine, actually. I think I find it funny. How would that even work? Well, it flies backwards, haven't you seen? Should I show you again? It flies the other way. For some reason, though, it doesn't... I need to take the absolute value of the travel distance. Much. Is it abs F? But isn't this a float? Why can I not do abs F? What is your issue here? Absolute value. Huh? Why can I not do... It takes int. Yeah, but... Choose positive value in UI setting of ability cakes. I know. Guys, I think it's funny. So we keep it. Why? Hey, where's there no float absolute value? I'm not going to use S to the apps. Huh? Huh? Include CMAF? I do have that. I think. I do have it. Right here. Abs F doesn't exist. How to get the extra value from a double in the C language. Abs. FA. Fabs. Yeah. This has to be on purpose. This has to be on purpose. Why do I say this? Well, take a look at math. Every single time I use math, it is... So for example here, sine F, cosine F, floor F. Every single time I use that, it is the postfix F. This has got to be on purpose. They found out that it's called fab, and I'm pretty sure they found it funny and left it in. 100%. Do you fab? Okay. I mean, okay, fine. Now, these should probably disappear, right? When I do the code change. There you go. So now, the projectile flies backwards. But I think it's funny. Let's take 100%. Faster. Let's see. It's just much faster now. But is it like, I would love it to be, I don't know, man. Is this a good thing to do? Ollie, thank you very much for following, man. They are just faster. I don't see like the big buff. So like guys, the reason why I'm doing this is the following. Okay. We have projectile speed of 50% tier 2. And we have projectile generic projectile speed tier 2. Okay. Now take a look what happens. Let me cheat some money here. Take a look at this guy here and his ability. You see how fast they rotate? If I get rid of the projectile speed, you see how slow they are? You can see that projectile speed is very efficient on this ability. Because you can potentially hit a unit so many more times. You see this? So projectile speed is really good. On this guy. The animation is too linear. It's not linear, the animation actually. This is the moment where you screaming at the microphone and make us laugh. So this is why I thought, well, if projectile speed would also increase the distance a projectile flies, then like I kind of want to add more range based on how far the projectile flies. Let's just test this. How do we do this? Let's test this with this right here. Get range, and then we multiply this by get stat value ignore base stats.values on stat projectile speed. So now for range, I multiply the range by the speed of the projectile, which turns the range. If I have 20% more speed, I have 20% more range. Technically range is higher because the speed goes down over time thanks to the air resistance. Too much physics. I think I saw the guy on YouTube Shorts being about easing functions or something. Yeah, my man, you saw that. Cool. Welcome, bro. Yes, I did make a short about easing functions. They're very useful, and I'm actually using one in this particular case. Holy shit, you see this? You see how far the projectile flies now and how fast it is? So let's not make it that crazy, right? Let's make it some more reasonable. Let's use some more reasonable values. So instead of 50%, how about we do 10%? And then over here, instead of 100%, we also do 10%. Or let's say this one is gonna be a bit more, so we can test this a little bit better, right? So this is the normal one here that we have. No range increase at all. This is what we had, right? And how about we get rid of the text? My condolences, Zark Rip. that you have been exposed to this brain rot content. Cakez, maybe you can make some sort of Patreon where people can sub and get some early access builds, so you can let patrons playtest and give feedback. I do that, yes, but I don't update the game regularly there. Because, like guys, would any one of you play this right now? There's like 8 levels. There's 8 rounds in the game, and then it doesn't even have a proper loop to the end. Right, so no one would play this. 8 is good. No, like, you're done after like 5 minutes or something. So, let's see. Let's take a look. Now, let's add in some projectile speed, 10%. It's difficult to say, let's redo this. 8 waves, not maps, lol. 8 waves, yes. I don't have 8 maps. My game only takes 5 minutes to finish, and there are like 20 waves. Yeah, there's a little bit more going on in my game, but also like my game is only 5 minutes at the moment, because I don't have more waves. I'm still debugging abilities, making them useful. I don't think, and I don't even think that this is balance. I think this is gameplay that fits into the game, if I'm being honest. Like, I know you guys keep saying that this is balance. I don't think so, actually. I think this is actually gameplay that I'm working on right now, because it affects how the game plays. Changing how fast this flies, how far this flies, what affects this, in my opinion, is gameplay. Read message I sent previously, 14 12. Hello AQ. Let me see. Of course, I'll test. Give me a second. Let me check. That's copium? No, I don't think so. You can just have this increased projectile speed and distance modifier that affects both. Having these variables separate gives you more control. So you mean the stat that gives me projectile distance and at the same time increases the speed of the projectile? So then I have speed separately from distance. Is that? And then in this case, I do projectile speed and projectile distance. But okay, that makes sense. I would have the control, but I would argue that I don't want the distinction, because I would never want a use case where a projectile flies faster but not further. If I want to make a projectile faster, I also want it to fly further. I don't see the value in a projectile being faster but not being able to fly further. You can describe it to the player by using 2 stats. So instead of it just saying projectile speed, it also says projectile range, plus 10%. So it flies faster and further. At least the UI looks nice. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, the UI does look nice, does it? You can see the future use case. So many software engineers' last words, but you're probably right. So you can set the speed and lifetime and calculate the range. Technically happens automatically. I think the general consensus is to use final inverse kinematic. Okay. Hey there, I've been coding in Minecraft for the past year. On Minecraft for the past year. What would you say is the best thing to do in order to learn faster, create more efficient codes? To code. So you have been doing it correctly. The best thing to learn is to code. And to not look for tutorials or watch videos or look for some gurus that tell you that this one little thing helped me learn 10 times better. You're already doing the one thing that helps you learn 10 times better, which is to code. Write code yourself. Try to figure out solutions yourself. That will make you 90%, 100% faster than everyone else that is trying to figure out the best way to learn. And the code being faster, you learn that by coding, because you will make mistakes. Then you will see that your game is slow. You will fix the issue that makes your game slow because you're profiling it. If you need tools to profile your code, I can recommend you RenderDoc. And you probably know some tools yourself already, but RenderDoc here, you can launch your application. He said learn faster. Right here, you can see how much FPS, and then you can do a screenshot. Where's RenderDoc? There you go. And then you can see how long does my picture take on the GPU. You can click this clock here. And then it says you how long in microseconds it took to make this one, or to draw this one particular frame. In my case, that is 800 microseconds. So that is how much FPS is that. It's like more than 1000 FPS on the GPU. And so if I take this, I see, okay, 800 microseconds. I take a calculator. I know that 60 frames per second is 16 milliseconds. 16 milliseconds multiplied by 1000 is 16,000. Because 1 millisecond is 1000 microseconds. And now we divide that by, what was it? Let's do 900, round it up. Do I do this wrong? Oh, I hate math, man. Fuck. Just do 1000 divided by 0.8. Okay. 1000. 17 FPS. Wakes, you forgot to open Paint. You're wasting the short opportunity. No, it's nothing to do with short right now. Tell me about the Steam page upload. Did you make all the required images capsules, or did you take like random, temporary random shit? I made them myself, yeah. Wait, I need to figure this out myself really quickly. So 60 FPS. Oh, I need to multiply this by 60. So 17 times 60. 1020. Okay. Let's see. 1 millisecond is 1000 microseconds. And then 1000 microseconds is 1000 microseconds is how many frames per second? Times how many frames per second is 1000 microseconds? Why can I not do this? Wait a minute. Frames per second, right? So I take 1 second, turn that into milliseconds. That is 1000 milliseconds. And then I divide that. Wait, so that is 1 million microseconds. And I divide that by 800 or 900 microseconds. 1100. Okay, there we go. Okay. I got it now. So 1 second is 1000 milliseconds, and 1000 milliseconds is 1 million microseconds. My frame took 871 microseconds, so I divide the 1 million, the second, how long 1 second is in microseconds, by 871. Then I have 1148 frames per second. So that is purely talking about time spent on the GPU. Now, if you take a look at the game, it shows me that I have 300, 400 FPS right now. Half of that. Even less, like a third of that. That means that I spent more time on the CPU rather than on the GPU. So if I were to improve the performance of my game, I shouldn't look to the GPU because that's already faster than the GPU. I should look at the CPU, which means I should look at my code. I do some terrible stuff on the CPU, on the code. Maybe too many iterations. For loops are too long. Stuff. You know. How many draw cards? Not that many. I think you can see this. Where is this? Where can we see this? Is this like a window? Statistics. I have 26 draw cards. I have basically no draw cards at all. Yeah. I do a lot of instance drawing. 1 second is 1000 milliseconds. You want to know how many times something happens per second. Anyways. So you're already doing it right, bro. Anyways, I think that I don't need the separation for the projectiles because I will never have. Let's debug this one more time. It flies very far. Let's see. How far does it fly? Let's try to use some pixels to determine where it flies, how fast it flies, how far it flies. It flies like, okay, somewhere here. Right, so let's use the mouse to determine where it flies. Oh, it flies here, but I think this is with the 30%. Alright. Get rid of the 30%. Let's see. Flies to like here somewhere. And now this is with the 30%. Take a look. You see how far it flies? And it takes about the same time, does it? I feel like it feels good to have this. What do you guys think? Now I just need to figure out... Thanks for your advice. Dude, you're already doing great, man. You're already doing like 10 times better than others that are just watching tutorials for the sake of watching tutorials and feeling smart. So you're doing good, bro. Hello, my dear Cakez. Hello, Kitos. How's it going, man? 1100 FPS on an RTX 490, so 30 FPS on a Pheasant GPU. We'll have to see why the GPU is so slow. But again, I think it's more CPU related rather than that. And if the GPU is really that slow, I will actually go ahead and write a Vulkan renderer if I have to in the future. If the game becomes laggy, I will go ahead and rewrite a Vulkan renderer for my rendering interface. You use threads? I don't use threads at all at the moment, no. I don't think the drop-off will be that big. I don't think so either. Because essentially, I don't think you can do the work faster. I think what's happening is the GPU has cores to do work, and the cores have certain speeds. And modern GPUs, oftentimes, while yes, they do have more speed, how most GPUs get their power is by just having more cores. So these are called CUDA cores. And so oftentimes the difference between speeds of each individual core is not that steep. But the difference between very good GPUs is that they have a lot of cores. A lot more cores than other GPUs. That's why they are so big. And so I don't think the drop-off will be that big because I'm not able to use the entire graphics card with work. I have a small portion of the graphics card that I use. And that work is done in one part or a small part of the GPU, which the only way to make that faster is to make the cores of that GPU faster. It's already very well parallelized. CUDA cores is for compute shaders, isn't it? You don't use those. Whether these are called CUDA cores or processing units, I don't know. Let me check. So let's see. GeForce, GTX, 980. I think TI, and then specs. Let me see. Can we find this in Tech Power Up? It is called. These are called shading units, essentially. These. How many you have. And this value. And they are also called differently. They're not only called shading units. There's also a different name for these. Let's see here. Tech Power Up, MSI. Maybe we can find that here. They don't show this even. They don't even show this. You kidding me? Weight? They show the weight before how many units they have? Data sheet? Like, what the fuck is this? There's like no data here. Okay, terrible. Ah, CUDA cores. See? I told you. They're called CUDA cores. Like, there's different names for these, but it's the same number. See, that's why I said CUDA core. This has to do with how many cores the graphics card actually has. How many operating units. See that? So that's where this comes from. Cakez, it's okay to say that you don't know anything about hardware. Don't make random stuff up. No, it's not random stuff. It's been a while, but one time in my life after university, I treated myself to a new computer and I had a set amount of money that I could use, and I wanted to make sure that that set amount of money was used perfectly. So I spent insane amounts of time researching stuff to make sure that I buy the best possible computer with the least amount of money that I had back then. And that was my computer that lasted almost 10 years. The only reason why my computer broke is because my graphics card had a malfunction on the memory reading and writing. So the memory of my graphics card became corrupted at some point. So I couldn't read and write from it anymore. I would get memory errors. But the rest of the computer still worked. Why are you upgrading your GPU? No, I'm not upgrading my GPU. We're just talking about performance in games. And so, because we were talking about how my game runs for, takes about 1,000 frames. My game runs for about 1,000 frames per second on the GPU. Which, for the modern graphics card that I have, seems to be very low. And I'm trying to argue that it is probably not even possible to make this any faster. Because each core of my graphics card is already running as fast as it can, and I can't make that much faster. It's for GPU stuff, not for game rendering. Not OpenGL, this is for OpenGL. CUDA cores, it's the correct, yeah, it's correct. Cakez, yeah, this is for OpenGL, not OpenGL. OpenCL. The baby's crying because it doesn't like CUDA cores. OpenCL. Anyways. Shouldn't your game be very fast considering you made it with C++ and no game engine? It is fast, but it could be faster. I think considering everything, my game is a little slow. let's see, show FPS counter. It runs at like 500, 400 FPS, which I think is a bit slow. 500, 400 could be faster. I need to optimize for the CPU. I think for the GPU, my game's fine, exactly. You're right. Anyways, so long story short, guys, I think that projectile speed, increasing the range at which projectiles fly and how fast they fly, is good. I think I want to do it like this. Simple as that. I just have one issue. Which... oh god, do I go into this right now? It's already 2.5 hours. Oh man. Oh god. I'll show you the issue and you guys can... So, mark this as A and then switch over. Wind slash. So, here is my problem. The projectile that I create here is a simple structure. I tell it the sprite, the type. I don't even need this type, I think. Well, actually, I do need this type. No, actually, I don't need this type anymore. Don't need this type anymore. This is something that will be removed. I tell it who's the owner of the projectile. And I give it a target if I can give it a target. And then I give it stats. Now. Here's where it gets a little bit annoying. I also give it a range and a speed. Okay. So you can see that the range depends on the activator, so the owner of the projectile, which means if I use one unit that has very high range, this value right here is higher. Okay? Keep that in mind. So I take the activator, the owner of the projectile, to get the range. Now, in the projectile update code, I get myself the owner too. So that is the activator of the ability in this case. And I think if I don't have an owner, I should actually delete the projectile. I should actually delete the projectile. So there's an issue here. So essentially there's code that this could run into an issue if owner. Then I would like to delete the projectile actually. If the owner dies. I don't think I want to keep the projectile with the owner. Without an owner. So anyways, my point is that since I have the owner of the projectile, I can essentially get the range of the projectile. I can get the speed of the projectile. All in this function. Is anyone even listening? Guys, are you listening? Listen up. I can get this in this function. So I don't need to calculate this here. No, sorry, what? I zoned out. You're listening? Yeah. It's okay. Let's ditch the dog shit to react. Okay, bro. Cakez said something. I'm listening to your accent only, not what you're saying. The projectile shouldn't care about its owner, ideally. I only read chat and have the stream muted. Yeah, scratching my head as to why the projectile needs to know anything about the owner after it's been instanced. Well, the reason why is because I would like to know who killed my unit, who killed my dude. So, for example, if I shoot an arrow at someone, it's for kill counts, for example. Does the shooter get XP? Then it has to, yeah. The shooter gets XP. This is what I was gonna go to. So projectiles, right? Projectiles. Owner. Shoots an arrow to a target. And it kills the target. It dies. Then, in turn, the owner gets EXP. Now, the issue is, in my game, an owner is an instance of what I call a prefab. Think about Unity. This prefab... Let me do this in a bit better way. Of a prefab. And this prefab stores the level. Was such a great idea for an 8. Level 8. So the XP doesn't go to the owner. The XP actually goes to the prefab. And so I can have multiple instances of the same prefab on the field. And they all, when a unit dies, give XP to the prefab. Isn't every float a prefab before you use fabs on it? By that, but you are the base owner unless you are wanting performance stats per hero. So what you guys are saying is that I shouldn't care about this owner right here being the instance, but I should turn the owner to be the prefab, and the prefab always exists. Okay, we can turn it to prefab always existing and then say the owner is the prefab. And then we know, okay. XP gains are done through the prefab. Then I have another issue, unfortunately, which I might not do. I might have to cut out on this. Let's do projectile again. Okay, we have the owner. Right here, shoots the projectile to the enemy, which dies. Now, instead of XP, what I have from the owner has an item. let's say a lucky charm. That gives +1 coin on kill. So now if the owner is dead, I don't get the coin. See what I mean? Now we are saying you should stop caring about this game and create a new one. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Bitch. And I don't even want to know how the main character piece, bitch. Okay. You see what I mean? Typical German. In this case, the coin should be awarded since the owner still killed the enemy, right? However, yeah, but the issue is... what can happen is the owner can shoot the projectile, it's in the air. And then the owner dies. So like this happens first. This happens second. And this happens third. So now what's gonna happen? What should happen? This cannot be done because this guy is already gone. Do you completely delete the owner entity when it dies? If not, the logic should still run. But that makes sense. If the item is on the hero instance and the hero instance dies, no XP is awarded. But it still kills the unit. The owner should change to the base owner, aka the player. So you mean the prefab? Because I can always get the prefab. Again, you know, the owners, they are instances of prefabs, right? Instance. Item owner in the air dies. And so we could have another prefab here that doesn't have this item. No item. And then what? And so like this is an old problem that I had. Wait, could you wait to delete the owner? If it is active projectiles, this is actually something I do in the game. Keep dead heroes alive until their buffs plus projectiles are gone. Actually, does this go through enemies? Check for projectiles, owner. I think, not sure. Oh yeah, so there's another issue. We have an enemy that has a debuff from my hero on it. So for example, my owner applies a burning effect on the unit. And then the owner dies. Who's still dealing damage? I think that's unneeded craft. If the hero instance dies, the items should have no effect. So if there is no owner, I just deal the damage of the projectile and move on. I basically snapshot the stats at the moment the projectile is in the air. I snapshot the projectile's stats when I shoot it. I keep all of the stats on the projectile. I don't care about the owner. And if the owner of the projectile dies, it will still fly. How do you check if there's no owner? Well, I try to get the owner from the projectile here. I try to get the owner, and if there's no owner, currently I delete the projectile. You can also make the owner have a property stage in which it's set to dead when it dies to keep it around. Yeah, like there's multiple things to do this. I think it's unneeded craft. If the hero instance dies, its items should have no effect. Get entity by ID. Yeah, I'm getting the owner by ID. My projectiles stop caring about the owner when they are created. Yeah, I think I should do this too. So I should even get... If anything, I need to keep the prefab to award experience. So I need to make sure that maybe I don't have the owner entity here. What does owner do? Get ability. Projectile, rect, collider, collide, projectile, projectile, array, targets. Ability? What does this ability do here? Is this even used? Burning arrow, yeah. It's used for the burning arrow here. Yikes. Man, I have so many different projectiles, it's crazy. I need the projectile fly logic. Oh man. God damn it. I don't even know how to do that. Okay. I think this is a question that I need to think about first. I need to think about this. So I can't solve this issue right now. There's another issue with projectiles. You want to see? You want to see more? Let me explain. So we have another projectile. Yeah, projectile. Okay, and this projectile is a burning arrow. That's an ability in the game that I already implemented. It exists. So let's say we have our trusty Tangy here to the left. Let's make that a bit more round. Okay, and he shoots an arrow. But this arrow is different. This arrow is burning. Okay? And so every couple of seconds, let's say every 0.5 seconds, it drops what is called a pool of fire. So along the path of this projectile, which, you know, would be, let's say, this path right here, it would drop on the ground pools of fire. Okay. As it flies. This is an ability that I added into the game that I thought was cool. Okay, it's like this projectile can... And the best this projectile works is with pierce. When it hits something, let's say an enemy. When it hits an enemy here, the projectile would stop flying. It wouldn't fly here anymore, and therefore these two things were gone. Right? They're not done anymore. They're not here anymore. And so this projectile works very well with pierce. It has low impact damage, but high damage over time. And so now I need to have this logic for the projectile somewhere in the projectile code. And that's why I'm getting this ability here. And I'm like spawning one of these puddles every couple of seconds, I think. Burning arrow. Oh, this is actually... Yeah, this is gotta be... Or is it trail? Burning trail. How do I do that? Let me see. Eh? Wait, I need to figure out what the arrow is actually called. Let's take this and turn that into an ability. It's this one right here. It's called burning... Oh, it's burning arrow. Shoot a burning arrow which leaves behind a pool of fire on impact. Oh, it's pool of fire on impact. Oh, I see. Projectile refactor stream. Yeah, I want to iron out that system. Yeah, essentially, yes. Learning about his own game. God damn it, man. Too many questions to answer. All XP goes to the hero class. Make the hero class the owner of the projectile. This should be on the GDD, game design document. But it can't be on the game design document if I don't know that I will have this ability. You see what I mean? Like, I didn't know that I will have this ability. So, like, how can I plan for this if I don't know that I will plan for this? It's an ability that comes to your mind and you think, wow, that's a cool ability, I should have that. You know? So... I really learned shit I did a month ago even, yeah, shit happens to me all the time. I think this is normal, guys. Disability? Guys, I think we need to leave this. And I need to come back to this another time. To figure out, well, how do I do this properly? Projectile. Because essentially, in order to get the ability, I need the owner. Now, I could store an ability on the projectile, but I think that's bad. So, for example, here, see, this is what I mean. How does Path of Exile do this? If you shoot an arrow in Path of Exile, a projectile, there's multiple effects that can happen, right? So, for example, we could have PoE, burning arrow. Please tell me how it looks. Maybe we need to do like images. Do I not have an impact here? I mean, it kinda looks, you could see it here. So the explosive arrow or burning arrow looks like this. It explodes on impact. And then we have PoE, ice shot. Ice shot. That looks like this. On impact. So it creates different types of effects and damage zones on impact. You know? Make the projectile have the ability. I think that will make the projectile too large. In terms of data. I got the same condition as Cakez. Aware, German, disability, help. What about projectile types? So you don't need to care about the owner? That's what I did before, but then every time I create a new projectile type, I create a new ability, I need to create a new projectile type, and now if the ability changes, the type of the projectile is still the same or the name is different, and now I have to have it on 2 places. I think that's bad. You know? I think that's not good. And so the reason why I need the ability is because the ability can change. So for example, an ability can have 20 fire damage, then I rebalance the ability to have 40 fire damage. If I have a generic projectile type, I don't have any notion of the ability, and now, like, do I deal 20? Do I deal 40? And so it needs to be... the data needs to come from one place. Having the project find the ability on the owner invites all sorts of entanglement problems. I would not worry about projectile having too much data, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's the best idea. What if projectiles have a member ability? Yeah, that's what most of you guys... I think that's probably the best thing to do, huh? If the projectile has... oh, it already has an ability, but an ability ID. Instead of the ability ID, it could have the entire ability. How much data? Oh god. It does have a lot. I would need to clean this up. Ability type, ability target type. Shit like this is never the bottleneck in performance. It's like 100 bytes. This is already 300 bytes. What are you talking about? Because it's a character array. Yeah, these are ints. But this is a bundle of stats, which is an array of 8. And I guess, yeah, I mean, it does have some... kinda has base information and instance-based stuff, like description, and time passed should probably be split. It should probably be... this description should probably be gone here. And computed whenever it's needed. Yes. This should be gone. And then it should be fine. Like, if this is gone, I think the ability is fine itself. Make a separate struct and make a wrap of the data. No, I think... it's difficult. Then just factor out the description. I can't. I can't so easily. Shit, what did I do now? What did I do? I'll show you. If I create the ability, they all have specific descriptions. Let me give you one that we recently worked on, the Windslash. So for example, the description of this ability uses range, physical damage, and physical damage next level to display in the game. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And I thought I changed... I thought I added the range in here, didn't I? I guess I didn't add that in. So essentially this is what it looks like. Every description is... split out the heavy description data, etc. Replace it with an ID or similar. It's nice to have only the data needed for gameplay on the struct. Yeah, you're right. I just don't know how to do this. So the reason why is because read the description here. It says physical damage and range. For this description, it says physical damage, shield count, and duration. You see this? Have a look. Have your function. Good morning. Thank you very much for the raid. Hope you had a good stream, bro. So the data changes. The data for the description changes based on, or the text of the description changes based on the data that I want to display. Sometimes I want to display how many shields I show. Sometimes I want to display almost nothing. And sometimes I want to display range. You see this? So this is all different and unique to each ability. It's like a list of stats that could be interesting for the player to read. And so sometimes I have this and these stats. Right, you see how I supply physical damage. I supply range. But here I have physical damage and the next level physical damage. And so I would... It's a little tricky, but at least the description can go. Yeah, but if the description goes, where do I put it? And where do I put that description? It's a sprintf, essentially, into a character array. No. You would have a wrapper with both metadata and the ability effect. In the case of the projectile, you only want the effect. So what you mean is it gives me the projectile data. A projectile is essentially, what you guys are saying is this. The ability is split into this, and then the ability itself, if it's say number 2, it just has ability data. I don't mean the damage numbers, I mean the flavor text. You mean this? And then I put the ability data on the projectile. Have a large array of ability descriptions that you can store and index on the actual ability data. On the actual ability data that you can store and index to on the actual ability data. You can do it. Unity or Unreal, my guy? None of the two. Something like what you're doing. And so then the ability data would be on the struct projectile. Instead of ability ID, I would have ability data. Like this. Things like usage cost could also go into the description. And then the projectile just has ability data because it's already flying. It doesn't need to know the description at all. And then I create an ability. I think I'll try this out. I think I'll try to program this. It's actually a good idea. Yeah. I think you guys are right. Maybe we can use this then this can be gone. And this projectile type can be gone. I think I don't need a different projectile type, do we? Yeah, see, this is what I had in the beginning. You see this? Fireball, firebolt, wind slash, homing missile. This stuff was totally useless. Because it could be done with different stuff.